Hey guys, my name is Brendan Buchanan and I'm just going to go through my intro video for this class. So just real quick, just a little bit about me. I'm 25 years old. I live in Denver, Colorado. I grew up here, lived here for the first 18 years of my life, then went to Concordia University, Nebraska for my undergrad in secondary education. Played soccer and tennis there. It's the whole reason I went to Nebraska and left Colorado. Right now I currently work at Thornton Middle School. It's a Title I Priority Improvement School in Thornton, Colorado. And I work as an 8th grade language arts teacher there. I am going into my 3rd year next year, so I have a little bit of experience, but definitely trying to get a little bit more, and that's why I'm using this program. So first off, looking at my school administration, I think we actually do quite a few things well. There's also a little bit of room for improvement, but as I go through this, you'll see we have a lot of stuff going on at our school that they need to know about. So the first one is that we have a pretty high number of IEP students, whether that's on the IEP plan, 504 plans, and from what I can tell and from talking to other people and even seeing what happens in my classroom, they do a really good job of setting up classes using the special ed teachers in order to make sure that those students get their required minutes for their IEP. Whether that's having a separate special education classroom for them occasionally, or they also do a really good job of having special ed teachers come into different classrooms to make sure that they can work with the students in order to get those minutes in. Another big thing in our school is that we have about 70% of our students are ELL students. So not only are they learning English as a second language, their families also either are learning English or don't speak much English, which means we have a whole nother set of guidelines that the school board and district put out for us that we have to follow in order to communicate with those families. So everything that we send out to parents, every email, every phone call is in English and Spanish. If we have to send permission slips home, one side's English, one side's Spanish. We have a school interpreter that will help teachers out if we need to call a parent and they don't speak English. So everything that our district set out for us, they've done a good job of following to make sure that we have that outreach to those families. Another thing going on at our school that they do a good job is it's a Title I school. So we have a lot of kids in poverty, which means that we have additional funding for that, but we also have to follow guidelines. School lunches are free for all the students. When we're going on field trips, anything like that, we have to provide lunches for kids. We provide extra services for some kids, including some of our kids are homeless. We give them the option to come in early, to use the school showers. We have options, we have kits where we give them deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrushes. So they do a good job of following those guidelines set out to help those students out in poverty. And the last thing that they have to follow that they do a good job with is it's an IB school, so there's certain national criteria we have to follow. We have to teach things occasionally in a certain way. We have to do our grading in a certain way. And they have all that lined out for us so we know how to follow it so we could keep that IB status. Personally, I feel comfortable in a couple areas. One of those is the IEP and 504 plans. Like I said, we have a really high number of those. So I've seen a lot. All the teachers who work at our school have seen a lot, so they've been a big help to me in that first year. Now that I feel really comfortable with that. Same with the ELL WIDA guidelines. Again, we have a high ELL population, so I really understand those. I know how to follow it. I know what each of the students should be able to do so they can be included in the classroom. I know what to expect from them in each level so I can set out their work to make them successful. A couple things I could do a better job in is the school board policies. I haven't quite gone through those a whole lot. If something comes up, I don't probably not the best person to ask about those. I could do a better job of understanding those and knowing what they're about. And then something that's at a middle school I didn't think was super important until a bunch of people asked is district graduation requirements. I don't really know much about those. I have a lot of kids who ask about it, considering it's Title I, primary improvement. Some of them don't know if they can graduate or don't know if they're going to be able to. So just having that knowledge to kind of encourage them and help them out would be important. Lastly, my personal plan. Obviously, taking this class is going to help me. That's the whole point, I think, why we're all taking this graduate school program. Another thing, really think about it, is reading through the school board policies. I think would really benefit me in the long run. That way I can kind of have a better understanding of what it takes to make sure that I'm following all those and doing what I can in my classroom. And then the last thing is kind of notice if something doesn't feel right or doesn't seem right, we're not doing something correctly, at least personally, and I kind of see that, is talk to someone who knows a little bit more about it than me, research it a little bit, just so I, don't leave any stones unturned and can kind of make sure that we're on the up and up. But I'm excited to take this class with you guys and look forward to learning.